A lot of people ask me, how did I start doing this? How did I get to be an ethnobotanist? And really, I come from a long line of people who use plants for food and medicine. And I would go on walks with my grandmother, and she would show me all the plants that we would see out on the land. It was amazing because as I was looking at these plants and learning these plants from her, she would know everything. She'd be able to tell me their names. She would be able to tell me about how those plants interact with the animals around them. So like this plant is eaten by deer, but this plant, the seeds are eaten by mice, you know? She knew all of that. She knew the exact habitat in which I could find these plants and which plants grew together. As I was growing up and I eventually went to college, I realized that my grandmother was a scientist. You know, she was a native scientist. She had an intimate relationship and knowledge of the land around her that came from observation and experimentation and this long-term knowledge that had been passed down from her family. And, you know, I often think about that, think about my grandmother as a scientist, and you know, how different would I have been as a native person? How different would I have been as a young person if I had known that I was descended from scientists? You know, because they never tell us that. They never tell us that our knowledge is still valid and useful in today's world, and it certainly is. You know, a lot of sort of contemporary pharmaceuticals come from ethnobotanical knowledge. It comes from the knowledge of indigenous people all over the world. And so that's what I try to talk to my students about, and that's how I got my start. That's what I always say. They're like that family member, you know, who you don't like very much, but anytime you really need something, they're always there to help you. That's the dandelion. They're always there for you. So today I'm at the Lower Sioux Reservation, and we are making 4 traditional and contemporary preparations using traditional plants and other traditional ingredients. The first thing that we made today is a lip balm, and this is one of my favorite lip balms because it just contains 3 basic ingredients. It's oil, whatever oils you have laying around. In this case, we're using organic olive oil and organic coconut oil, but if you only have some, you know, regular olive oil sitting around or even some vegetable oil, you can absolutely use those. Or if you only want to use coconut oil or olive oil, you can do that as well. So it's oils, it's nettles, stinging nettles, dried and added to the oil in a crock pot for as long as you can. And then we'll strain it and we'll just add some melted beeswax until we get the consistency that we like for lip balm. The other preparation that we made is we made these beautiful face masks. It's just something to pamper yourself with. They're great to get glowing, moisturized skin, but they're also fantastic for things like poison ivy or, you know, perhaps an infected sore or boil on your skin. And so for that we used bentonite clay, spirulina, which is a blue-green algae, and raw honey. That's it, just those 3 ingredients mixed together and applied as a sort of paste or a mask. The third preparation that we made today was an Elderberry Elixir, and this is an antiviral syrup that is amazing for boosting your immune system and helping to fight off viral illnesses. And the ingredients are super simple, so it's just elderberries, spices, and honey to make this beautiful antiviral elixir. The 4th preparation that we made today is an allergy syrup. I myself suffer from terrible seasonal allergies and asthma, and this is the preparation that I found works the best. And again, super simple. All it is licorice root, nettles, and raw honey. through ethnobotany, I've also been put on this path of really valuing the knowledge of my ancestors, which helped me to value myself more as a Native woman and as a mother. Plants really encompass the entirety of our existence. You know, they're food, of course, and they're medicine, as I said, but they're building materials, they're ceremony, they're, you know, child rearing, they're, you know, even in pregnancy. I use so many of our traditional medicines to have a healthier pregnancy with my 3 children. So yeah, you know, it's really, plants have helped me so much in my life.
Visit pioneer.org/postcards to catch up on missed episodes and to find out more about your favorite segments. Postcards is made possible by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund and the citizens of Minnesota. Additional support provided by Margaret A. Cargill Philanthropies, Mark and Margaret Yackel-Julien on behalf of Shalom Hill Farms, a retreat and conference center in a prairie setting near Windham, Minnesota. On the web at shalomhillfarm.org. Alexandria, Minnesota, a year-round destination with hundreds of lakes, trails, and attractions for memorable vacations and events. More information at explorealex.com. The Lake Region Arts Council's Arts Calendar, an arts and cultural heritage funded digital calendar showcasing upcoming art events and opportunities for artists in West Central Minnesota. On the web at lrac4calendar.org.